Alright guys, let's go ahead and start on our first homework assignment for the year. I'm going to go over all the even ones. You have the odd ones. First one says using exponent notation, write the power in repeated multiplication form. Then find the value of the power. First one says 4 to the fourth power. If I go ahead and do this, I realize I'm going to take 4 and multiply it to itself 4 times. When I do that, I get 256. Next, I'm going to take number 10, which is 5 to the third power. This means I'll take 5 and multiply it to itself 5 times. This is 5 times 5 times 5, which equals 125. Let's go to number 12 now. This time it says writing expressions using exponents. Write the product using exponents. Well, when I write this expression, I see that I'm going to get 6 times 6, which is 6 to the second power. For number 14, I see I have 4 multiplied to itself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 4 to the fifth power. Number 16 has 5 multiplied to itself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. That's 5 to the eighth power. And number 18 has 8 multiplied to itself 4 times and 6 multiplied to itself 3 times. This would be 8 to the fourth power times 6 to the third power. All right, let's go to number 20, where it says evaluating expressions. Well, if I evaluate this is going to be 5 times itself 2 times, which is 25. If I take number 22, that's 1 multiplied to itself 6 times. As we know, I could take 1 and multiply it to itself as many times as I want. I'm still going to get 1 for an answer. Number 24, I'm taking 13 and multiplying to itself 3 times. If I did this, it would be 13 times 13, which I believe is 169. And then I would multiply it to 13 again, and that would give me 2,197. Number 26 says you be the teacher. Your friend evaluates the power at negative 6 to the second power. Is your friend correct? Well, in your friend's example, it says negative 6 to the second power would equal negative 6 times negative 6. And that would be a negative times a negative, which would equal a positive. But this is incorrect. The only way that I would take the negative sign and use the power to it is if the negative 6 had parentheses around the negative and the 6. It doesn't. So the only thing I'm going to multiply to 2, or to itself, is 6. The negative is separate from this. So the negative sign is not part of the base. That would mean this would be negative 36 because it would be 6 times 6 and the negative sign would stay in front. All right, we've got number 28. Says use the prime factorization of the number using exponents. Well, if I break this down, I could break it down into 28 times 10. That one worked out too well though, because I need a prime factorization, which means numbers multiply to itself where I can find a prime number from it. If I do this, the best number to use is going to be 2 to the third power times 5 times 7. Let's see why. 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So we're taking 8 times 5 and then multiplying it to 7. Let's see why. Well, 8 times 5 is going to give us 40. And 4 times 7 is 28, so 40 times 7 will give us 280. So using prime factorization, I cannot take two numbers and multiply, or a number and multiply to itself to get 5 or 7. But when I take 8, I can take 2 and multiply it to itself 3 times to get 8. So that's how we came up with that one. Number 30. And I probably should have had this one removed, so you got a freebie here. The smallest doll is 2 inches tall. The height of each of the the height I'm sorry, the height of the next smaller doll. So the height of each of the other dolls is twice the height of the next smaller doll. Write an expression involving a power that represents the height of the largest doll. What is the height of the largest doll? Now remember, the height of each of the other dolls is twice the height of the next one. So since this is 1, 2, 3, 4, this is going to be 2 to the second, third, fourth power. 2 to the fourth power is 16. We know this because 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 2 is 16. All right, let's go to number 32. It says, using order of operations, evaluate the expression. If I do this, I have to remember that I have to follow PEMDAS, which means I must go ahead, and I'm going to use my pen here. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And that's the thing that we always say when we want to try to memorize PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. But what it really means is parentheses comes first, exponents come second, multiplication and division go next, and then addition and subtraction. And we do multiplication, division, or addition and subtraction. We go from left to right, from the beginning of it to the end. So using this, I see that I cannot add before I multiply and divide. And I cannot multiply and divide before I do my exponents. So I'm going to have to take 3 to the second power, which is 9. Then I'm going to have to take 9 and multiply it to 7. That's 63. Then I'm going to have to take 63 and I'm going to have to multiply that to 2. That gives me 65. Oh, I'm adding it to 2. Yeah, 63 plus 2 is 65. All right, let's go ahead and try number 34 now. Again, we've got to follow PEMDAS. I see there's multiplication here because 1/2 is being multiplied to everything here. But there's exponents going on inside of here that have to be solved first. All right, so 3 to the second power, we said over here, was 9. We also said 4 to the third power. 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4 is 64. So now we have 64, and I'm just going to write this in so we don't forget it here. This is really 64, and we're subtracting 6 times 9. 6 times 9 is 54. 64 minus 54 is 10. And now we're taking half of 10. I'm guessing my answer is 5. There we go. All right, let's go to number 36. Again, we have to do exponents first. 4 to the second power will be 4 times 4. Not 4 times 2, 4 times 4. We will not take the negative sign and use it in there. The 2 is only the exponent for the 4. Now, 4 times 4 is 16. So this is 24 minus 16. And 24 minus 16 is 8. And now we have a negative 10 times 8. Negative 10 times 8 would be negative 80. There we go. Number 38, we have negative 6 times negative 5 to the second power plus 20. Again, we must do exponents first. Negative 5 to the second power is going to be 5 to the second power, which is 25. So this is a negative 25 plus 20. Let's just write that in again. This is really negative 25. Adding it to 20. We have to remember the negative is bigger than this positive number. So this will give us 25 minus 20. And then keep the sign of the bigger number, which is 25. We get a negative 5. Now we have negative 6 times negative 5. A negative times a negative is a positive, and 6 times 5 is 30. So I'm thinking this must be 30. And there it is. All right, let's go to our next one. We have number 40. Number 40 says scientists studied two bacteria colonies to learn more about how these bacteria populations grow. The number P of bacteria present in colony A after H hours is represented by this equation. P equals 50 times 3 to the H. Okay. The number B of bacteria present in colony B after H hours can be represented by B equals 75 times 2H. Now it says find the amount of bacteria for each colony after 4 hours. So in the first one, this is going to be a 4. So 3 to the fourth power would be 3 times 3, which is 9. 9 times 3, which is 27. And 27 times 3, that's going to give us 81. So for the first one, it's going to be 81. And let's see, the second one, if this is 4, 2 times 4, that's 2 times 2, that's 4. And 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 times 2 is 16. So this would be 16 times 75. So for colony A, I have 4,050. You might be saying that's not what you came up with, Mr. Hernandez. Remember, we said this was 3 to the fourth power, or yeah, to the fourth power. That gave us 81. 81 times 50. Okay, and I might have gave the wrong answer there. 81 times 50 should have been the first one. Let's go ahead and double check that. 81 times 50. And let's see. Um, that's going to be really a 0 at the end here. 1 times 5 is 5. And then 8 times 50, that's 40. And now you can see where they got 4,050. Colony B was 1,200 because we said this was 8, or excuse me, 16. So this is 75 times 16. And we'll check the answer to that. We got 5 times 6, which is 30. Carry the 3. 7 times 6 is 42. 42 plus 3 is 45. Multiplying the whole top by 1 gives us 75 here. That makes a 0. Remember, there's a 0 added here automatically. That makes a 0. Carry the 1. And 7 plus 5, that's 12, 1,200. And now you can see where they got the answers for A. It says B, which colony has the greatest number of bacteria after 9 hours? Well, as you can see, just after 4 hours, the biggest number of bacteria was bacteria A. So you might automatically think A is always going to be bigger than B, but that's not necessarily true. Reason being, remember, we're factoring these numbers. We're over here. We're talking 9 hours now. This is going to be 3 to the 9th power and 2 to the 9th power. Where 3 was only 50 over here before, it's now going to be a really big astronomical number. And then 2 to the 9th power. I don't think it's going to be as big. So let's go ahead. I'm going to try to work these using math here. We got 9 hours. So if I put 3 to the 9th power, all right, this is going to be 3 times 3. Remember, we need 3 of these, or 9 of them, excuse me. That's going to be 9. Then 2 more will be another 9. 2 more be another 9. And remember, we just have uh, we just have 6 of them here. So when I add 2 more, this would be 8. And then we'll be multiplying that to 3. So over here we have 9 times 9, that's 81. And then again, 9 times 9 is 81. So that takes all of that. And then we have times 3 again. So I'm going to take this last one and multiply it to 81. And this would give us 1 times 3, which is 3, and 8 times 3, which would be 24. Lastly, I have to take 243 and multiply it to 81 to find out what is 3 to the 9th power. Well, I see I have 3 times 1, which is 3. In fact, all this top number is going to be the same. Put a 0 here, and I have 8 times 3, which is 24. Let's see, I'll have the 2 up here. 4 times 8 is 32, plus 2 is 34. Lastly, I have 8 times 2, which is 16. And 16 plus 3 will be 19. Now I have to add the two numbers together. 3 plus 0 is 3. 4 plus 4 is 8. We have 2 plus 4 is 6. And then 19. So now we found we have that, and we have to multiply it to 50. Don't forget, all we did the first part was finding out what was 3 to the 9th power. Okay? So now we have to multiply that big old number that we got to 50. All right? Let's see. I'm trying to find out where my arrow went here. There it went. I lost it just that quick. Sorry about that. There we go. All right, so now I have to take this number and multiply it to 50. And really all I have to do is multiply it by 5 and just add a 0 at the end, right? So 3 times 5 is 15. Then we have 8 times 5 is 40, plus 1 is 41. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 4 is 34. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 3 is 48. And then 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. So the first one, after 9 hours, you're going to have, wow, that's such a big number here. Let's see. Did I lose my cursor again? Sorry about that. We're going to have 984,150. Okay? Let's see. The second one, we're taking 2 to the 9th power. So 2 to the 9th power, I'm going to work that over here, would be 2 times 2, which is 4. Then 2 times 2, which is 4 again. And 2 times 2, which is 4 again. And 2 times 2, which is 4 again. All right? 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 4 is 16. Remember, we still have one more to put in there. So we'll put this one multiplied to 16. And that's, of course, going to give us 32. So now we have 32 multiplied to 16. If I do this, I see that I have 2 times 6, which is 12. Carry the 1. 6 times 3, which is 18. 18 plus 1 is 19. And then we have to bring down 32 because we know that anything times 1 is itself. This is going to give us 2. 1 carry the 1, so that's going to be 11. And this is 5. So now we have 512. Let's not confuse these. Remember, this was the answer to the first one. All right. And now we have, we're multiplying that to 75. Okay. Now we got 2 times 5, which is 10. 1 times 5, which is 5. And 5 times 5, which is 25. Next, we bring down the 0. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. Let's see here. We got 7 times 1, which is 7, plus 1 makes 8. And 5 times 7, which gives us 35. As you can see, we're not going to get near the number we got a little while ago. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 4 is 9. 8 plus 5 is 13. 5 plus 2 plus 1 makes 8. And then 3. So we only came up with 38,000. Here we came up with 984,000. There, you can see that the bigger one by far is going to be A. All right? So colony A. Colony A has, let's see if we were right, 984,150, right on the money. Colony B only had 38,400, and I don't know what went wrong over here. Let's see here. They came up with a different number. Let's try to find out. That was 10, 5. Oh, this was a 6. I have to apologize. My sloppy handwriting. This should have been a 6. And then that would have gave us a 0 here. And we would have had to carry the 1, and this would have been a 4. So, yes, the book is right. All right. So 38,400 should have been colony B. All right. Colony D, or that's for you to do. Might have gave it away, but hopefully you're going to show the work. And I'll see you in class to check all the rest of the work. Have a great night.